Hello, Untitled Heroes. Thank you for tuning in. As of this episode, we are no longer featuring the plethora of other channels in the video, the channels that are not a part of our main group. No harm intended, honestly. We may bring it back one day, but that's not today. It just got really chaotic for one thing, so yeah. Anyway, middle of the year. This is it. As far as plans on the cartoon go, the Realm of Wonder, as we're currently calling it, there are no plans to release that this month. But hopefully within the next 3 months, we'll be able to complete it and get it uploaded. So, other announcements. We've got a online comic project called American Maiden. Maybe some of you have seen it, maybe you haven't. It's weird. It's a superhero parody. You might like it. Links in the description below. And this month, July, we will be releasing a new story. One of those weird things that goes in the stories playlist. Fairy tale. It'll be cool. So, next time on Untitled Radio, we will be taking a step back and looking inward. We're going to be focusing more to the core of who we are. Untitled 7, Nightmara Styx, and the Darth Black Knight. We're going to be sharing personal anecdotes and who we are, technically, through a series of stories. And this is what Untitled Radio will become for the next few months. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, our newest and coolest ever Untitled hero, who we will call Red Ink, based on his SoundCloud name. He is going to read his reading of Vampire Lie. This video will also be released just by itself without this long intro. This video will be posted to Nightmara, I guess. So that's where you'll be able to find the non-pre-commentary introduction one. Anyway, yeah, just stay safe out there, guys. And thank you.
In times of strife, what is stronger, hate or fear? This story comes during the plagues. In a quaint town of Serpent's Bog, the mayor's barred his door. The lawyers fled like a bat out of hell. Kindly Brother Orban has locked all 7 of his sons in the house, and the village elder is dead. Word on the street is vampire. And so many blame Mildred, for she was a woman of devious nature. 2 months have passed. There's no supplies, there's no heroes. A summer with winter's chill. Citizens flee for safer pastures, but the killings increase. People say this could be the work of vampires. They're fast, cunning, and deceptive. The remnants are hiding in the church. Tonight the beast must die, or the town perishes. All that remain in the town are Father Almond, Wong the Bard, his cousin Lily, the accountant named Grahamstone, his goblin slave Galt, Grub the orc butcherer, Doran the dwarven blacksmith, a handful of nondescript townsfolk, and Mildred, a half-elf songstress. Well, if you ask me, it's Wong. One should never underestimate the bard. Now, no folk here have seen a vampire. They've only heard tales. So far, the killer only strikes at night. It doesn't seem to attack those wearing holy symbols. Rich and poor are among the dead. They sent for a vampire hunter. He never appeared. Father Ullman says it must be a vampire. He urges all to attend his sermons, repent, and buy his holy water, holy crosses, and holy garlic. The town elects Wong and Galt to investigate. He's given everyone's keys. The goblin has a mind like a steel trap. Many distrust Wong for his infidelitous character. A few had hoped that he'd meet his end that day. Wong jested. The accountant must be the vampire. He already sucks people dry of gold. But then, why would he kill us if he needs our money? Dorn the dwarf says, If you ask me, it's the orc. He's already covered in blood. Mildred says, Of course he is. He's the butcher. The accountant replies promptly, Yes, he's the butcher, I'm the accountant, you're the songstress, and this is old already. Now that we're all acquainted, let's get this over with. Father Ullman claims, We know it has to be a vampire. It'll have sharp teeth, a flowing cape, and a chilling gaze. The accountant responds, Is it my fault I'm impeccably dressed, and the only one who doesn't have a potato brain? The dwarf says, The killer probably has pointed ears, a low dumb forehead, a little nose, and a missing limb. The orc. No vampire. Vampire's dwarf. Wong sets off. He searches the abode and workplace of the accountant. Nothing interesting's inside, except for a journal. He skims it and finds that Graham is as boring as everyone says he is. The last entry was one of intrigue, though. Once before moving to this town, the accountant wished to wed a woman. She was beautiful, wealthy, and would be a reflection of his status. When he proposed, he was rejected. Nothing more awaits in the journal but blank pages. While Wong investigates, his cousin Lily reads. She loves stories, perhaps because her own was so tragic. Mother died giving her life, father was slain by the vampire. She recently began living in the upper tavern with Wong. Her book is a gift from him, fairy tales. She found a story on vampires. She wanted to give this information to Wong, so she snuck out of the chapel. Then she was attacked by a shadowy fiend. As Wong and Galt made their way to the next house, they were assailed by a shadowy creature. The bard summons his courage and casts his torch at the beast. It screams and sinks into the night. The creature moved in the direction of the sheriff's home, leaving behind such a peculiar smell. The bard could swear he knew it somewhere. The sheriff's house had been untouched for weeks. He died recently. His body was found broken outside the tavern. The sheriff had a modest journal. The last entry was the day he died. It said he was going to have Mildred the songstress one way or another. The next house is the orc butcher's. The inside is a mess. The orc was only recently promoted to this position. The prior owner had left town 2 months ago, around the time the killings increased. Many townsfolk disliked the orc. He was so quiet, and when he spoke, it was like listening to an avalanche, a very inarticulate avalanche. The shop was covered in furs, blood, and blades. Wong decided to not even bother. In his eyes, the orc was nowhere near clever enough to be the vampire. Just then, Wong hears a sharp thud. He looks and finds nothing. Galt beckons to Wong. They stare at the shop door. There's a note freshly planted. The parchment says, You die tonight. Curious. The dagger keeping the note in place was forged at the blacksmith shop. A lead or a trap? Wong sneaks into the back of Doran's smithy. Farming tools and few weapons await, but more importantly, a journal and a ledger. The dagger seems to have been sold to Mildred the songstress. But the killer couldn't be Mildred. She wouldn't hurt anybody. She and Wong worked at the town's only tavern. Every night they'd sing and entertain the crowd. They were best friends. Well, best friends that kiss every now and then. The journal also contained an entry about Grub the butcher. Doran claims that the orc was eyeing Mildred, and so the dwarf cut off the orc's hand. The orc never liked to speak of his injury, and when he did, he would say it was a hunting wound from a wild beast. Scattered about the dwarf's bedroom were a few fantastic jewelry and a fine silky garment, clearly one of Mildred's. Wong chuckled at the thought. How much gold would Mildred drain from this poor blacksmith? Mildred and Wong have left broken hearts in their wake. Not that it was a contest, but Mildred's list was a lot longer. All the town fell in love with him. All save Father Almond. These secrets are great gossip, but Wong is no closer to the truth. He returns to the chapel. He finds Lily dead. Almond opens the door to receive Wong. He notices the body and shouts, They've killed the Wong cousin. Nobody was watching her. The time has come to question the people. The people are questioned privately. Father Almond and Galt used all gathered evidence to question the villagers one by one. Wong's permitted time to mourn. He and Mildred take Lily's body away. They'll be questioned when they return. Mildred and Wong exchange fond memories of Lily. They sit for a while at the tavern balcony, and Wong asks if the railing had always been broken. Mildred melts. She confesses she murdered the sheriff. It was late, he had too much to drink, and she pushed a little too hard. It was an accident, of course, but not quite a tragedy. Few had mourned the sheriff. Wong, depressed and exhausted, embraces Mildred, unlike any other time before. It was time for Mildred and Wong to be questioned, but they were nowhere to be seen. Almond, Doran, and the brave men of the town burst into the tavern. To their surprise, Mildred was neither killing nor eating the bard. Doran begins to say that Wong must have lured Mildred here to slay her. Wong objects. "Jealousy isn't a good look on you, Doran." The songstress is quiet as the boys fight for her affection. Father Almond has never liked Mildred or Wong. He takes the opportunity and claims that everyone questions innocent. Therefore, Wong and Mildred must be the vampires. Wong has read enough fairy tales to see how this ends. And then, facing his defeat, he claims that he is indeed the vampire. He threatens all with destruction, and he says the only way to defeat him is to tie him to a cross and wait for the sun. They bought it. Father Almond is ecstatic. Galt whispers to Graham, "Night is almost over, Master." And Mildred cannot bear to watch the death of her dearest love. And so, how will it end? Well, as a narrator, I'm calling it. The real killer is Father Almond. And so, there cometh the night. He's the aid they had sent for, or the best they would get. Eric was his name, a would-be hero in every way. He demands an explanation. Almond explains we've got the Wong guy. Not understanding, Eric repeats his query. Everyone tells him their version of the story, all at once. Grubb's overheard saying, "Dwarf evil, he can is." Doran shouts, "It serves you right, Orc. If the old butcher were here, he'd back me up." Almond claims, "The Orc scared him off so he could get a promotion." Grubb defends, "It's too much Ribbon's fault, not my fault." Doran recalls, "One day I went to the butcher shop and the meat was just butchered." Eric interrupted, "What do you mean butchered? It's a butcher shop." Personally, my money's on the dwarf right about now. Mildred interjects, "Wait, did the old butcher take a trip or a fall?" Grubb responds, "Yes." Doran accuses Grubb, "Look, we all know he's the Orc. He even has blood on his shirt." Mildred intervenes, "Of course he would. He's a butcher." Doran starts, "Damn right he's a butcher." The accountant responds, "Really? How long are you going to milk that?" Mildred intercedes, "I thought your guess was Wong." Doran responds, "Of course, the whole situation has Wong written all over it, and he's clearly in cahoots with this big barbarian." Mildred mediates, "You're wrong about Wong." Almond roars, "When there's a human and an elf in a room, who are you going to look at? The elf. You're the source of our problems, Missy." Graham's overheard saying, "This has been a wonderful way to destroy my sleep schedule, but you must excuse me, I'm going home now. Good day." Eric's eyes drift between the mob and the bard. The night cut down the bard, so they could talk. Now that Wong is free, he smells that vaguely familiar scent. The orange blossom perfume of Lily. It was her favorite, maybe because he'd always bought it for her. The smell was strong on Grubb. Wong explains that only Lily wore that orange blossom perfume. And Wong asks one question, "Are you the monster?" The crowd begins to gang up on a new target. The Orc needs space. He pushes Eric and flees on his steed. Eric pursues. Now with the Orc and Night gone, the mob desires someone conveniently closer to burn at the stake. So here we go again. The mob turns to Mildred and Wong. Galt screams as loudly as he can. He reveals the true killer is Graham Stone, the accountant. He recalls all that he knows. Graham was rejected by the only woman he ever loved, and so he killed her. Then he moved from town to town, murdering. He could not know happiness, so he took her from everyone he could. Galt was done serving his master. He had to save his friend Wong. Wong is taken aback by his new friend's courage. Regaining himself, he asks where the accountant is. All look, but he can't be found. Far northward, the Orc looks down a road. He spots a carriage, one driver, one horse. He begs a ride. The driver welcomes his company and lifts his hood to reveal himself to be Graham Stone. They recognize each other's faces. They laugh at coincidence and share a sigh of relief. The Orc says he's cursed. He doesn't know how or why, but it would explain the killings. The Orc says, "I'm no monster." To which the accountant replies, "We're all monsters." As they ride into the coming dark, they say what a wonder it will be to start fresh. Then the Orc asks, "Are you hungry?" Not another word is spoken that night. The end.